Good afternoon, everyone. Um, Happy New Year's to everyone. Um, I expect it being whew, a big chud. Um, Not a lot of things to do in the New Year's days, but that's mainly because like if we're being frank here, hold on, let me get my audio. Okay, well, yeah, it's primarily that Canada's just really cold. Like going out for fireworks in my city, it's it's not really something I'm that interested for these days. Been there, done that. Um, I feel old now talking about like talking like this. Um, but yeah. If you can't tell, I'm also supremely tired out of my mind. Um, I was spending my night playing Carnage with a few friends of mine, um, along with a few games of League here and there. Um, Regardless, I still woke up. Um, so it's not that big of a loss at the end of the day. Um, I think that's enough out of me though. I've heard that we can get this episode done within today. We'll see if that's true. I'm not sure if that's true, but if we do, then that's a big boon, so to speak. So let's get that game on. You can tell I sound tired today, chat. I don't have that hustle in me like I usually do. Continue though. Let me get a drink. What's the volume again? Last one off of sort of court shootout, and we're on the second day, which is apparently the final day for this trial. Um, yeah, get with the show then. Russia. Russia. Shy. What do I owe the pleasure of hosting my two favorite girls? Oh, this is new. One Sarah. Who's the other? Speaking of my imagination, Lane, do you want something to drink? What do you recommend? I've just got this piece of the beautiful, tawny deep reds from volcanic soil across the sea. Savory and full with notes of cherry and oak. Sounds delicious. You can't even have it. Just described a tree, down to the dirt. I would very much like to try it. Sorry, you're underage. She's an android. A very realistic one. What do you say to customers who walk in and see her drinking at the counter? Hey, Rush. Two waters. Coming right up. Wait, back up. Your client is the Hound of Ikaria? And I was the last person to find out what that actually means. It should be easy enough to tell whether he did the deed or not. The Hound always leaves a calling card. So I hear. Is that literal? Stark white business card, laid neatly on the ground with the house's insignia. I don't understand why the house would go to such lengths to let the victims know who attacked them. These new ability types, their whole lives are galas and boardrooms and cocktail parties and wine tastings. Torture. Where every sentence is a front, and backside to it with every glance is a whole unspoken clause. To them, an unambiguous act of violence is an exclamation point they can't misconstrue. And the Ikariga aren't exactly at the top of the new ability deck. Finding the others that they've still got their fangs is a viable strategy when they know they're outclassed in terms of how many mountains of gold. It doesn't explain why such a supposedly great assassin is made on more than one occasion. Well, he's probably just doing his job there. If all he needed was to get away with murder, he'd be a poisoner or a sniper. All the major houses love to use body doubles. He kills a target behind closed doors. Their house can just bring out a spare. Or hell, claim the entire thing never happened. But if the Hound kills where a house's rivals can see, the damage sticks. You know a lot about new ability, don't you, boss? Are you considered part of the neo-aristocracy? Do I look like I've got that kind of sway? I don't want to bar of Midtown as a hot kid. I don't know, looking at how profitable your wine section is. Don't catch on. What are you getting up in his ass for? Let it be his thing, come on. The Hound was a nasty surprise, but the big reveal isn't making anything click for me. Blue Blood Assassin trying to miss him mid-trial. What the hell? I don't get it either. The Blue Bloods aren't as rational. Aren't as rational as they used to be. Used to be? I traded with them a good deal when I was younger, but they were richer. Traded what? Stock tips. Oh. This was before the Ikaria cut them down. I was a young man, hungry to establish myself, and the Blue Bloods were the biggest game in town. The rest weren't even a twinkle in some psychopunk's eye back then. The Ikaria cartel were just that. Drug smugglers and dope runners. The Blue Bloods used them as couriers. A reversal of fortune. Could be their names on the opera house hospitals all across the city today if... If what? If the Ikaria hadn't killed them all. But didn't they have allies? Connections? The morgues were overflowing with Cerulean blood. No one wanted anything to do with them. But they were the victim. Corporate partners are risk averse. Political alliances required to bring something to the table. When you fall that far, that fast, the common folk assume it happened for a reason. They thought that the Blue Bloods deserved it just because it happened to them? All that was left were the old timers. Grandparents and the great uncles, all suddenly without heirs. They recruited latchkeys and orphans during the Red Decade. Found family that became the first gens and then the young bloods. What about the money? I'm trying to sound like a real human. Ooh. She has been? Excuse me? That's your child? Be present in her life? Some of it. The cash, the gold, the jewels. The Ikiria just stole those. But the vast majority of it was held overseas, where it was safe, untouchable, and impossible to get your hands on without the right blood. Locked behind the GFA. Getting butchered by the Ikiria was a bad beating, but losing that money was unforgivable. The rest of the Blue Blood Mafia around the world never accept them back into the fold until they recover. Exiled from paradise because they tempted fate with their humans. Has a certain poetic charm to it, no?
It would have to be a very sobering poem.
Those are the ones you remember, aren't they? Probably why the Blue Bloods are still humming the same old hymns, passing down the same ghost stories and urban legends. It seemed to be a surprisingly superstitious bunch, crossing their fingers over the Red Hood and... Hey, what's the Little Lord? That's another one. You spell on one of the oldest tales in the book. A promised prince. The belief is that exactly one kid survived the fall of the leaves. One lone heir to all the fortune the Blue Bloods lost. Got spirited away overseas or out west to be raised in secret. One day he'll come back to reclaim what's rightfully. You know, I'm guessing you've heard this one before. Yeah, in Christ? Fucking mafia rapture?
Is there any truth?
Old guards can certainly seem to think so. Need to think so. It's probably what's keeping them alive. If they could just hold on for 5 years, they'll finally find the heir they've always been looking for. They could rectify decades of embarrassment and shame. Thinking like that is what makes you youngbloods start thinking about the old guard doesn't care what happens to us. They expect blood's thicker than water.
The original, full expression is thought to be, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That actually suggests the camaraderie between those who are fought together stronger than simply sharing a common relative. Yeah, well, if that were actually true, then maybe people wouldn't have amputated the expression centuries ago.
Still, this is 30 years of water, or blood covenant if you prefer, that we're talking about. Youngbloods give their life to the Mafia. Each of them had to choose it over their own family. Pretty raw deal to cut him loose just because some sheltered kid, only valuable for his DNA, decided to show up after all these years. The old guard would throw away their Youngbloods if they're planning to be remaining with their little lord. I know it, and so did the Youngbloods.
That doesn't seem to be a dynamic that incentivizes them to look very hard for this little lord.
No, it incentivizes them to smother the royal bastard. Eric Chopin? No, nah. Certainly not. That's way too out there for that to be the case. There's no way. Nah, I don't believe that. If I assume my client is innocent, that means someone else killed Eric Chopin. And who didn't do it in self-defense? Eric Chopin? You the son of the city councilman? Adopted son. His parents are government officials. Even if they're loaded, the Mob Act can't protect all their records. Taylor, look this guy up.
What do you want to know?
What was his education?
Eric Chopin had a law degree.
Who gets a law degree and then becomes a patrol officer? Son of a politician. Not a bad path. If your superiors know you're connected and smart and recognize when the law is being broken, they'll keep you far away from anything real. You can ghost for a year and then move into politics as a veteran of the force who's hard on crime. He did mention he was far too principled, likable, reliable. Running up with the police was not calculated. He had a clear path of
what to do after. It probably didn't involve defrauding the city in a real estate scheme. How old was he? His age is listed as 27, but the entry has been edited a number of times. There's been a great deal of back and forth between database contributors in the last 36 hours over the addition or removal of an asterisk. It seems his original birth certificate was lost.
Well, that's shady as hell. Only kind of.
Here it goes.
If he was an orphan 27 years ago, that's pretty firmly in the red decade. A lot of paperwork was getting lost back then.
That's a kind of way of putting it. But it'd be an unkind way of putting it.
The governments of the world were scrambling.
I want to know about his adoption. Father's adopted him in 2020, in 2066. After 3 months of visits to the Gospel Home orphanages, private philanthropic institute no longer in business.
Bankrupt or bought out?
Bankrupt.
Damn it.
It had just gotten swallowed. The parent company might have kept the records. The adoption itself was somewhat of an event. There are multiple news articles and photos of it.
I'm trying to cast doubt the realness of their connection. But they would be career politicians if they let a photo of that get passed them by.
Unless they wanted to draw attention away from him. They were adopting him.
Now,
a child showing up quietly in a politician's life looked guilty as sin. Wouldn't let people think, this isn't evil. I can go in circles all day speculating about this. I can think of a few reasons why a cop would get murdered at the scene of a crime like that. Tarek Chopin wasn't some ordinary cop. The strongest motive comes to mind is,
wait, you really think?
And Chopin was the Little Lord.
Last person I expect to believe in fairy tales, Red.
Also say he doesn't fit.
If we, for a moment, assume the unicorns and dragons and Tsuchinokos are real.
What do you mean? Tsuchinokos are very well documented. I can show you.
Then, yeah, it's possible that Chopin was the Little Lord.
And if any young blood knew it, they'd want him dead. To prevent the old guard from abandoning them. Video will live on.
3 thoughts come to mind. 1. This is all guesswork on your part. Even the most zealous young blood wouldn't offer that just because he happened to be about 30 years old and adopted.
They would have seen something at that at least suggested it.
2. As I recall, the only young blood you know is of this Creek guy. And Creek was dead before Chopin even ever entered the building. There's his name pretty handily.
Only young blood I know?
3. I can think of at least one other group that killed to prevent the Little Lord from reclaiming his throne.
Asikaria.
And who'd better cut him down than their most loyal rook?
And that would neatly explain why the old guard was enough to try and kill Sosuke in a courtroom. Unfortunately.
Stay positive. Just because the old guard thinks Sosuke killed their precious heir doesn't mean he actually did.
Yeah.
Hey Sarah, get some footage of me big at this next one. We're over there at the counter. Start from over there in the corner.
Boss?
Good promo. I just found this hidden gem where this guy made the best drink ever. That kind of thing. Where it's kind of cheap and fake, but like you're in on the joke and it's not pretending to be genuine.
Boss, with the numbers of followers Kensugi has, a video longer than 9 seconds posted at this time of day.
I don't do that depressing shit. We'll cross-post or whatever. I get you. I get you, Damien. Damiani.
It'd have to be that corner. The lighting will be bad.
Any corner. Just make sure it's from a distance.
from a distance. It'd be better framed if...
It looked like shaky cam. Found footage. It's more legit that way.
My hands do not shake, but I'll try.
What are you doing? Making you a drink, obviously.
That's quite the treat.
Why? Because we've got some heavy shit to discuss. Starts with ice. What do you do with crushed ice at Kitsugi, Sarah?
Take it under the fridge.
When did she switch back into your uniform? Exactly. Rock ice are nothing when you're mixing a cocktail.
Hang on, you taught her that?
There's a drain under there.
Not in my kitchen. When the ice melts and warps the floor...
Half a lime. Juiced. Pay no attention to the second half of using here, Sarah. Fred likes it tart. Now you're the lawyer, and you've got a hell of a mind for all this stuff. Egg white. Toss the yolk in, unless it's a weekend, in which case.
Put it in the bowl in the fridge.
It seems to me like you're approaching the shooter from every angle, but the deadly serious one. Or great. Customer says they prefer simple syrup. Let me know and we won't serve them anymore. You need to consider that maybe the shooter wasn't there for Sosuke.
I told you, they kicked me out only after only a few minutes. Don't see me an assassin after me for that.
Whiskey. Black label or higher.
Then shake the hell out of it.
What about could be deadly? Down there in the fog. I saw her leaving the building can easily become. I saw her running away.
If someone were to get me, a courtroom filled with cops would be a pretty shitty place to choose to do it.
Yeah, but it might have been the only time and place they knew you'd be. And for a garnish, with charred cinnamon for smoky ambience. Serve immediately. A bitter blessing.
Surely with that much lime, it's a sour blessing, no?
You want me to toss it out?
Thank you for the drink. But I'm nobody, Ryan. No one's come to get me. Nobody even knows I exist.
I hope you're right.
I am.
You won't know if you're wrong till it's too late. Bottoms up. You get all that, Sarah?
Yes, boss.
Bottoms up is a discretion. You're supposed to sip it for God's. She's not pleased, Damiane. You should know.
One last thing. Apparently, Sosuke's captors talked about some kind of huntsman.
The fellow lord's an urban legend. Huntsman's a goddamn boogeyman. Ogre shooting the shit around burning tires, trying to make them dudes afraid to go off and piss by themselves.
Right, so they're bullshit. I got the same answer elsewhere, but...
Oh, they're very real.
Pardon?
Huntsmen. Not a species native to our shores, thank God, but they're real.
You just said they're boogeymen.
Yeah. The fact that they exist is what makes them so damn scary.
Are they some sort of assassin? Like Bresson, shooter in the courtroom?
Nothing so concrete. Huntsmen are virtual shapeshifters. Feel chilled out and just fine one night on your way home from work. You go to sleep. Wake up at night to find a man wearing... Wake up at night to a man burying your own face, choking the life out of you. Well, he calls your mom from your locked phone across the room in your own voice. Like I said, they're all overseas, in more contested parts of the world where the blue bloods are better funded. You wouldn't pay for one of them to come into the country unless you had a really good use case or a weapon they could fully take advantage of.
Well, I'm sure to pass that on to Sosuke.
Why? So Sosuke could start writing as well?
I won't bet against him, so long as he knows what he's up against.
It's a new trap. Goodness, a budget.
Urban legends are myths, but boogeymen are easy to kill. How do you kill a boogeyman? Same way I'll kill anyone else. With pleasure. Oh, right. I actually need a recommendation from you.
What kind of recommendation?
A bar, I think.
Needs to be open tonight. Oh. What are you looking for? Well, it's not for me, but how much do you know about House Club? Pardon?
What the hell is that supposed to mean? That's what I said. Can't enter the crime scene until they pass your security clearances. You've gotta be. Fuck pushing Loma. Why would I need your permission to go anywhere? I take offense to that. I've never worked in pharma.
Not the time to be a smartass. Grace, it'll only take 30 seconds.
You're serious? It's reality? So you expecting blue bloods to keep a crime scene secure? They're the ones committing the goddamn crimes. Hey, if that's your criteria, half the police force should be disqualified.
London reacts.
Or is excessive force not a real crime? Our battered spouse is not a real victim?
Actually bringing up the right points.
Guess assault's only assault when it's a real person on the receiving end.
Sinus is legitimate, Reyes. All the paperwork's in order and signed by our bosses.
These idiots are walking around barehanded and knocking shit over and leaving trash all over the goddamn place. We give them badges while we're at it. Let them investigate crimes too. We already investigate crimes. You have any idea how many missing teens there are in the lower wards? No, because we find them. Because we actually give a shit about the people who live down here. Oh, and I'm sure your prices are very generous. Better their parents get a bill from us than a letter of condolences from you. I'm sorry, man, but he looked suspicious as he was running away.
Not help. Reyes, let's calm down.
Sorry that I'm not calm when we've got actual orcas stomping all of the scene where our cop was murdered. Last I counted, there were 5 bodies upstairs. Are both your eyes broken, or does not recognize anyone without a badge as human? Perhaps it's come at a bad time. Nothing for it. Gotta strike while the iron's hot. The iron seems very hot in this instance, Adonai. Sorry to interrupt, folks. Don't mind me, I'll just go take another look upstairs. Now you, hey, why not? You nearly died once already today, why not let these organs give you the tour? Was that you giving me permission? No. Your relation should be a goddamn hospital or whatever, getting deeper. She doesn't need your permission. She has mine.
Nice. Ma'am, go right ahead and you can go right ahead upstairs.
Talk over me again or I'll break your finger. Is that out of recording right now? That sound like a threat. I want to hear a threat. Ow.
Clearly. This isn't gonna work. Go on. Why don't you head upstairs and wait for Morgan?
I don't take orders from you.
Who do you take orders from? Want me to give them a call? Let them know you're around kicking hornet's nests and scratching your head over why everyone's getting stung.
Whatever. You think you just walk away after the shit you said? Turn around and
Take a walk, sunshine.
London, if you think for even one...
I'm not kidding, Farah. Take a walk.
Wow. You all can go to hell for all I care. Oh, for... No, not you. Sorry about the bad timing.
No, that was gonna blow up no matter what. Situations like this require compromise, and Reyes is...
Uncompromising. At least you're around to balance her out. Might be the most compromised cop I've ever met. That was not a very nice thing to say.
And it shows that you haven't met that many cops.
I'm surprised still working around here after what happened in the room.
Oh, Bresson. The Blue Welts are a big organization, and Bresson was pretty friendly on the other side. Guys like Khan who work in the gray areas might as well live in a different world.
If you say so. I just didn't think the Mafia would allow the death of Jerome to go unanswered.
He sent him into a courtroom packed with police with a mod arm that only had one shot. I don't think they're surprised he didn't make it back.
Detective Wright used to be alright. She seemed angry, more so than usual.
Yeah, she'll be alright. Blowing up, yelling, cursing. That's nothing. Practically healthy. The ones who go quiet you gotta worry about. What brings you back here anyway?
Pursuing leads.
Sounds serious.
And go taking open after my implications earlier today.
Lady Rockford will probably take it seriously if only she crosses off the list, but other than her, I think it mostly just pissed people off. Like for you, I was able to convince some techs to confirm your soundproof Windows theory, but additional lines of the building has confirmed that the windows and doorways are all effectively soundproof. Okay. Looks like to be welcome at City Hall anytime soon.
I hadn't counted on it. Whatever else he's innocent of, Chopin did get here before anyone else, and no one knows how.
Look, if you really did get some kind of coded message or secret text, there's no trace of it in any comm logs or his personal devices. And it didn't come from any of the tech we've examined on site.
Have you found any secret passages on the premises?
Afraid not, little lady. Maybe you'll have better luck than me.
Secret passages? In what world? Was that your whole story back in the courtroom? You and Reyes happened to be in the area?
You don't want to take my word for it. Reyes will tell you the same thing.
It doesn't seem like she'd want to talk to Adonai at the moment. Can you tell me exactly what you saw when you arrived?
The 10999 went around at 10:15, telling us the Chopin road had stopped. Then we dashed across the street to an elevator. We were selling at 10:17 p.m. when Rogers reported that he was dead. At 10:21 p.m., he approached the front of the building, saw the door ajar, lock blown in. Then Sunshine and I started clearing the first floor.
You didn't hurry up to the first floor, where the dead cop was?
Like I testified, Chopin had flatlined. His own partner confirmed it was no false alarm. We knew we couldn't do anything for him. Rogers had already apprehended the suspect, so SOP is we focus. So standard operating protocols, we focus on securing the area and clearing the premises.
How level-headed. So the Officer Rogers we saw in court today really did take Suski down all by himself.
Yeah, charged in and pistol whipped him right in the head.
I assume you found that the first floor was in fact clear?
Yeah, all these vaults were empty.
Didn't wait for scientists to show up with the spare keys. Surprised you didn't throw your back out, kicking down doors.
Sunshine helped. Besides, they weren't all locked.
They weren't?
Yeah, I remember that. That one right there was unlocked. Room 107. Nothing inside there either, though. Guess the boot was missed the lock on a nightly roundup or something.
Scientist has unlocked every door in the building at this point. When I first walked down this hall, but I walked down the front it. How'd this hall look then?
Did you manage to find some kind of silent alarm? I'll be impressed. If you prove that Chopin was dirty, I'll be floored. And then, how the hell are you gonna convince a jury that anyone other than Selsuke killed them?
It'll be difficult, without accounting for the 4 dead blue bloods as well. But if you take all in as one step, it starts seeming plausible as an internal issue, don't you think?
What do you want to picture this as a young blood and old guard going at it? Over what?
The juicy bait that Chopin literally died over. Proposition 492.
Was there a disagreement? That project will put money in everyone's pockets.
My theory is Kurt and Chopin was killed because the Youngbloods didn't want the old guard abandoning them. The old guards have always hedged their bets on the Lord returning. That means they're writing plans to profit off Prop 1 and 2 were a Youngblood conspiracy? Those papers were tucked inside Creek's safe before I arrived.
Oh, good hunting.
Want to be joining us?
Not this time. I gotta go pump the brakes on Sunshine before she finds a bar. I try not to piss off the Blue Bloods with any more wild accusations while I'm gone.
I would never.
Take care. That goes doubly for you, Sparky.
What does Sparky mean, by the way?
It's a nickname, because you're so bright.
A nickname?
That's a new one. Oh, she's really happy. Morgan! Morgan! Come on, come on. But I guess people are always calling you out whatever they like, huh? Sorry, should have asked first.
What do you mean?
I'll just call you Sarah.
But it's my nickname. You gave it to me. You can't just take it back.
Well, okay then, Sparky.
What the hell? Did you experiment that much? That is... I would never want to seem ungrateful.
In fairness, London is really nice. London is so nice.
Seems like that smell's starting to fade. Barely even the memory of blood now that so many feet are running through here. Nothing lasts forever. Hassan? What? No, I already called you this morning. No, they're not. No, they're not. Paranoid. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'll call you tonight. Bye. Didn't mean to interrupt another lover's quarrel. What? Oh no, that was... Dementia meds aren't working. They get confused this time of day. Sorry. Forget it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn my phone off for a minute and forget. Good Android, by the way. Aww. So what's up? There's a couple ways of going about this, but none of them are surefire. Might as well start out big and see if there's anything to say. The Blue Bloods use silent alarms. Yeah, of course. Thank you for telling us. Sure. I'm actually going to need a bit more than that, Miss Han. It's just Han. Did Creek have a silent alarm? He's hesitating all of a sudden. You sure the answer, or you should just give her answer, give her first answer without thinking about where it would lead? Nothing like that installed in the building. I should have chewed it up and spat it out by now. The Arx is not flawless. It can miss things. Look, you see the level of tech we Blue Bloods have? It's secure, but it ain't subtle.
True. An Orca-run security firm won't have quite as much luck hiding their subsystems from the police statement as sure did, Sarah.
But the Arx can miss things that aren't tech at all.
A silent alarm that's analog?
Let me know if you figure that one out. Are the alarms analog and loud, or digital and silent? They don't mix.
Defensive.
Their logic's sound. Approaching it from the other angle then, how can an analog silent alarm possibly function? A literal alarm, but one that can't be heard under normal circumstances.
Like the outside lights?
What a horrible smell in here. Like a dog whistle. Talk to me about your sense of smell. I don't think I was bragging. I could have sworn you puffed your chest out at the time. Doesn't matter. If I asked you to sniff something out, did you find it? What would you like me to look for? I have a clear picture of what happened after I left, but there's one thing I know should be here that hasn't turned up once yet. Right. I'm the only one who knows about the knife. Well, I don't know where it went. I do know it had plenty of blood on it when I last saw it. I want you to smell for blood. Adonai, you really need me to help you find blood in here? I'm not asking you to sniff in here. Why don't you smell out the window? I'll try. There are many strong smells in this part of the city, Adonai. There was something truly unpleasant as well. Something beneath this fire escape. Okay. I go fetch. It asked nicely. Why you're like a dog, Morgan? Come on, that's not nice. That's not nice. That's so mean. Wow. Wait, Sarah. Yes? That's a very old, rusted fire escape. Take the stairs. You're too heavy. What? As you command, Adonai. Several minutes later, Sarah returned, looking worse for wear and seemingly in a bad mood. Did the weight comment bother her that much? Yeah. Adonai, I do not like digging through trash. It is not a dignified way to investigate. Digging in people's trash is the basis of all good investigation. Easy for you to say when you aren't wearing all white. Find something? Yes. My knife. And it's... charred? Huh. I found it amongst the ashes of a blackened steel drum below the fire escape. Seems to have been the site of a fire. Sounds familiar. Wasn't there a barrel burning in the alley when I first scoped the place? Is that the signal? Oh. There were signs of a chemical flame retardant being applied to the barrel. These must have put the fire when they first secured its scene. The knife wasn't in a fire all night, still. There does indeed appear to be blood on this knife, Adonai. How did the police and scientists miss it? Their noses aren't good as yours, evidently. That is true. But they have drones and dogs for this kind of thing. Yeah, but they have to actually use them. I have no reason to search the vicinity for a bloody knife. They found a sword sticking out of a corpse midsection. Shall we ask the police to check for fingerprints? Fingerprints are mostly oil and sweat. Fire evaporates them both. Then... I have to test and see whose blood is on that knife. The DNA is damaged by heat as well. You know, before DNA analysis, blood had another forensic use. I mean, blood typing? The DNA on the knife might be too damaged, but modern analytical tools should be able to at least identify blood typing. Oh, the more you know, I guess. That could work, Adonai. Great. Ready to get started? Pardon? You were capable of recognizing my DNA, weren't you? When we first met? Yes, but... So why don't you try your own hand in analyzing blood type? It's gotta be simpler, right? It might be, Adonai, to analyze the blood on this knife. I were to use my... Pretend it's a lollipop or something. It's blood. Well done, blood. It tastes like beef. You don't know what human blood tastes like. Of course I don't. Look, the fire sanitized it. Probably. Let's get it over with. I will reference this incident next time we discuss razors, Adonai. Fine by me. Because that's never happening. What have you got? There was blood from more than one person present. Mostly B minus, I believe. With some AB minus around the tip. Alright. Now I can cross-reference that with the rest of the data I have. Thank you for the reports, Sarah. You give me a new lead to follow. Yes, that's definitely him. Oh. I had to make sure he was in the clear. Oh. That interesting. Ain't that a bitch. Okay. But yeah, no, that's... Yes, Adonai. You've just made your first forensic contribution to an ongoing criminal investigation. How many androids can say that? Now come on. We've got some boxes to tick. So this is where they found Creek's body. He was the only one who didn't die instantly. Anyone had the chance to use the silent alarm? No. He been paralyzed between the time he was shot and his actual expiration. They weren't paralyzed. What do you mean? If they had been paralyzed, Yumi would have noted that in her autopsy. That's... true? He just sat there limp the whole time. He didn't even try to move. Was... playing dead? Let me think he couldn't move so I wouldn't notice his... Was anything found in his hands? Anything at all? It doesn't seem like it. They weren't holding something by the time their body got to the morgue. If he had been holding something, he died. Help me look. For what? Anything small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Hang on. What's this? What's that? You just jumped? I was merely surprised by that sound, Adonai. What sound? I just brushed against this little toy thing. You can hear it? I can. And it is not exactly pleasant on the ears. Could any android hear it? Or is this some special feature David gave you? I'd imagine any android, robot, or electronic device with modern features could pick up this tone. Close the window before I test it anymore, and stop torturing all the dogs in the neighborhood. Closing the window would not matter. It's soundproof, though. But the specific frequency of this tone is not in your audible spectrum to begin with. Right. But do you really think that Creek was toying with that nuisance maker in their final moments? Very bizarre. Think protocol. Designed to make data difficult to physically redistribute. Would anyone just take out their phone and snap a picture of the pages? It seems that some of the responding officers attempted to. The arcs show that they failed. That's some fancy, eh? What do you see when you look at the page? No more detail than you do, I'm afraid. Strange, isn't it? They went to such lengths to protect this information. And yet these papers were left out where Officer Chopin or anyone could read them. They weren't left there by Creek. I took the documents out of his safe so I could reach them out. I must have left them out on the desk afterward. Edgar Ton. Supposedly, he was the first to die. Logically, he had to have been. Someone who had a gun. An attacker got it away from him. He must have done so first. Yes, I can see the gun is registered to him. Right, registered. I would look at this guy with that gun and just nod him along. Patrol officers TC and HR 1 week ago.
Eric Chopin and... Dude. My god. Yeah, what?
The badge numbers match. Seems like they detained Uncle Tan briefly during a stop and frisk and found this gun on him.
I don't even like this on anyone with priors during a stop and frisk. At very minimum, that's grounds for 28 days detainment. Why'd they just let him go?
Is it possible that he was a criminal informant?
If he was a CI, they wouldn't even lock him in the incident. Besides, patrol officers don't have their own CIs.
Perhaps they let him go for some other reason.
Have they gotten what they wanted from him? Make sure to copy the file of that stop and frisk.
Right away.
This is getting really interesting.
Our client, Sosuke, according to Rogers, this is how he found him.
Interesting, the sword of Chopin.
For merely trying to retrieve it.
Not a huge improvement there.
He really was found in a terrible state, wasn't he?
That was before the police gave him his popular welcoming and... Sarah, bring up the medical files and stuff. I want to go over everything we know about how he looked when Rogers arrested him.
What specifically?
Okay, we have, uh-oh. That's not good. Covered in blood, right? Samples taken for analysis?
The blood on his torso and head was all his own. That's some Chopin's blood on him while face down, being cut by Officer Rogers. And he also had a great deal of Trey's blood on his and legs.
How exactly was he injured?
His left hand was broken. He had internal bleeding from his torso. Bruising and rope burns on his wrists where he was bound. All over the interior side of his body. He also sustained a large, blunt force trauma wound to the head.
Because wound was to the back of his head? I guess he fell backwards to the ground.
There was also a small cut on his left hand.
How small?
As if he cut himself in the kick.
Oh, God. God damn it. Well, that's not good for us. Expecting a metaphor there, but effective enough.
Any other questions about our client's arrest, Adonai?
Those are crumsy photos you've been holding out on me.
I'm afraid not.
I was gonna I'm the only one who made an effort to prove a crime. That's funny. I mean, let's see. We're just gonna double check just in case. Okay, doesn't matter.
That about wraps it up in here.
Ton? Since scientists is technically in charge of securing the crime scene, what should we do with that? Deal with what?
Adonai, please, refrain from pressing that button any more than necessary.
Sorry, Sarah. I can see you don't like it. But Miss Han's phone doesn't seem to like it either. It's just Han. I don't know what you're talking about. I get messages all the time.
Han, ma'am, if you could just please admit it so she stops pressing the... Fine, whatever. Yes, you found one of our alarms. Be a clever system. Not really. It's just an app. Set the frequency and get a note if the app picks it up. The range? A couple kilometers. Thanks for clearing that up. Glad to hear though. How fast did you show up at the scene of the crime? Pardon? It's a blue blood neighborhood. Do you really expect me to leave the cops under the way here faster than leave? What's that really trying to say? Yeah, I'm tuned to that frequency. I'm tuned to a lot of frequency. It's a good way of communicating with other Megs or the pigs listening. You didn't get this alarm night at the incident. Even though it went off that night. That proof it did? Explain how else Officer Jobin could... Nah, not my job to either. Is it your job to come to a fellow Blue Blood's aid when they're desperately calling for help? I don't know Creek like that. Didn't say Creek was the one who had this. I saw you were poking around and they had the pod. Assumed. Creek's a stranger to me. Even though you're both Youngblood? What? I'm guessing that's what the tattoo means? Not that you make much of an effort to hide it. It is plainly visible, even in their autopsy photos. I have no idea what this ink means. Tell us what it means? Blood bag. Not a blood feed? Or a kindred even? Wow. That's rough. Rough life you got there, hon. What? Vulgar use to as stoners. Gangsters live a life of drugs, smoking, drinking, and back alley mods. Then end up with livers and kidneys that look like charred steak. Could have guessed. No children, because the Ikaria killed them all. They get on the donor list because they're geriatric. Violent crime lords. So, what do? Hey kid, wanna be a gangster? Let me see if you got what it takes. Hold still while I flick your finger. Tattooed our torsos, because even if you mod off all 4 limbs, they'll still pump clean plasma. Every drop, an indicator of quality. Universal donor, so I've got 3. AAA graded. Just like me. Oh, you are? Wait. Save it for the trial, lady. Are we done here? Not quite. Second floor? Oh, to the bathroom. Okay. Most arguments that Sosuke didn't escape from here. Brought him into the other room to be questioned, then he broke free. I know that's not true. Sosuke would have been stuck here until the police arrived if I hadn't handed the Magus. Well, frame him. And the knife. Also to frame him. Secondarily, so that he could cut himself free from his bindings. Those bloody rags there. Remember what Sosuke told us when we first met? That he was bound in here the whole time until his Bad Samaritan came along. And gave him a knife. Now we know what knife he was talking about. And now, I want to know whose blood this is. The blood on the bindings. It have to belong to Sosuke, wouldn't it? All the other bodily fluids in this room do. Probably, but I don't know. You've already done it once. What's one more time? One more time will surely make me sick. Please, Adonai, let us ask one of the science employees on standby to analyze it. They have a record for very fast turnaround on DNA tests, I promise. I can show you customer review. Sorry, scientist does DNA testing. Typically paternity tests as part of their private investigative services. They have been assisting the police with their DNA analysis around the scene. I will flag the findings to be analyzed. Wait. I have already made the request, Adonai. This will make me test the bindings myself. Now, you'll only be upsetting my stomach to satisfy your own impatience. Fine. But I'm gonna cite this incident the next time we discuss. He is a shithole there though, huh? I agree with your sentiment, if not your choice of words. Feels like a cruel place. What is it? Was there something we're missing here, Adonai? No, not in here. The windows. Peak was shot. Still closed when Chopin and Rogers arrived on site. They were open by the time Rogers got to this room. It's a contradiction to argue for the presence of a third party. Someone must have opened them. Down the fire escape. And then what? Must have dropped down to the alley and then ran away, right? Yeah. That's one option. What's the other? Tell them to do students around here. I guess that would be contaminating the crime scene. What do all these cops and signage terms actually do? And all walls will screw around on their phones? Yeah? You saw what Han did? I think you're being a bit harsh in your assessment. But you aren't alone in your criticism. Detective Ray has much to say about how science employees were not wearing gloves and knocking over trash. They had picked up trash without being removing evidence. Sparks would light up. Adding trash, though? Adonai. Help me look through this. Garbage again. Already. Start looking. If it requires DNA analysis. Wait, there. Red. I don't smell any blood. Not blood. A torn page of the red ink documents. What looks like a shoe print on it. Shall we try and match the samples? Good luck. Cops and security tabs all wear the same kind of boots. On top of which, 99 out of the 100 shoes in the city are made by the same two megs. But if the print isn't useful, that just leaves the actual text, and that... like the letters were run through the wash a couple dozen too many times. Well, it isn't particularly informative. I don't understand exactly how this food fits in with everything else we've all seen. But doesn't this seem important? How could it have been lying there, neglected this whole time? Nah, princess. I'll have to call you right back. Of course. Wouldn't dream of it. Come on. You know me. What'd you find there? More dead man's garbage? Keep it up and you girls aren't gonna make me look bad. Happy to be of assistance. So, would you like to add this to the arcs, or should I? Oh, seems like I got momentum going, so... please don't let me get in your way. You don't wear gloves on the job, Miss Han? It's just Han, but you already know that. You probably also know that they don't really make them in my size. Is that a flex? So if you found your fingerprints in here, on those windows, or even upstairs? Oh man, I'd be pretty embarrassed. Oh, we almost always get rated 5 stars. So, did you need me to walk you out? I'll be fine, thanks. Suit yourself. Be careful you don't get lost. So I'll be going down soon. It'd be hard to find your way back in the dark. Yeah, okay. You starting to look like a pretty safe bet. The theory that Chopin was assassinated as an attack on the Old Guard. But how can we confirm it? We still haven't met anyone from the Old Guard. So even if we had, it occurs to me that they would be reluctant to speak close to Igaria's legal. Don't be so pessimistic. The enemy of my enemy is usually willing to at least talk. Talk is where I do my best work. Where do we look then? Still got the address boss gave us? Hey there, tall, red, and mysterious.
Ladies, please come in. Don't be shy. Let me guide you to a booth.
Should we take a seat for now?
What taste expensive is yours? Dig in here. Many of these people will drain my chicken counter or overpriced champagne faster than I can blink.
Oh, champagne.
As much as you like. You know, derail fast, but I don't want to shut it down. A surefire would take exactly the kind of attention and douse their salesmanship in one go. Need to go with that.
Please don't frown. Smile will suit your pretty face that much.
I need to speak with your manager.
What happened? They're all walking away. Hey, Mama?
Yeah, there's some kind of, I don't know, accountant or whatever you're just. The voice on the other end of his earpiece grumbles a response. Cranky one, judging by his reaction. I'll be out in a second. You're expected to buy something, give me time. You got tap water? You don't want to drink the tap water in this district. Soda water? It's all overpriced, lady. Might look at something you want.
I thought my first visit to a host club would be more celebratory than this.
What's that if you give me the subject? Yes! What kind of light reading gets tossed around a club like this? Probably something along the lines of, I spent every night at a host club before, and here's what the staff taught me about emotional workloads in corporate settings. Wait, this actually looks somewhat interesting. Fungus time use bamboo, soaks unrest. Oh shit, no. God forbid I alt tab. God forbid. God forbid I alt tab. But whatever, we can look at it again. What's an ideal rainfall patterns that with greater than usual saltwater flooding had already left many of the tropically centered microfarms. Most of the world's bamboo is struggling to be banned. Now with the increasingly widespread reports of fungal infections, tensions are beginning to rise in the region as its large micro population is faced with the possibility of one of the worst quarters on the record. Bamboo is a highly versatile crop, cultivated successfully for thousands of years on all seven continents. If one counts the agricultural pine slabs on the Antarctic Peninsula. In recent decades, advances in agricultural genetics and greater restrictions on the lumber industry working activity have led to bamboo becoming a premier organic manufacturing and construction material for much of the world, especially in impoverished regions that often lack the machine required to process advanced synthetic equivalents. Hardy plant can grow in a wide variety of environments and humidity levels. It's even been considered an aggressive invasive species. Modern, genetically modified monocultures are tailored to grow specifically in a small number of tropic and subtropic biomes, intended to provide a stable cash crop for regions that have historically struggled to farm soy, sugar, or wheat. But it's a delicate balancing act between tuning a cultivar target environment and rendering it unviable in the wild. And years like this one can put that vulnerability on full display. Well, the fungus practically chews through grows. You can see it growing with the naked eye, said one worker, who requested anonymity due to the concerns over their citizenship. Somebody tells us to just burn it down. It's too damp for anything to catch fire. Bamboo's hard to burn, so they want us to be using this incendiary stuff, and they won't pay for us to have masks. They found the efficiency of burn pits and the spread of the fungus is limited. Most corporate officials agree that the risk of inhalation among personnel is low and masks are unnecessary. Well, corporate officials say that. The micropopulation, however, is arguing that the hesitancy to provide masks is more politically motivated. Slaughter's rebellion was decades ago, but the gas mask is still a powerful symbol even today. Back then, workers went on strike because the conditions of growing mushrooms and apple plots were so unbearable. Fungus is cutting the profits again. There are a lot of workers on the industry, and a lot of young people who easily be out of work. I'd be surprised if they weren't getting nervous. It's true that the region is home to a disproportionately young population, as many international trade schools have flocked to tropical climates. So I may have miscalculated you finishing this today. Hey, Bacon. I just finished it myself? Man, um, I mean, do you think if we pushed it to 8 hours, we could we could finish this episode? Because I'll be honest, I have nothing to do. Well, yeah, okay, well, that. Let's see if I can stomach it for that long. Now, this fungus is cutting into profits again. Got a lot of workers dependent on the industry, a lot of young people who could easily be out of work. I'd be surprised if they weren't getting nervous. It is true that the region is home to a disproportionately young population. As many of international trade schools flock to tropical climates in an attempt to attract students with promises of low cost of living and idyllic conditions. And though education lies firmly in the realm of corporate authority, government officials are also keenly aware of the risks and challenges associated with such a large student population. Ramsey syndrome. Ramsey syndrome remains a serious concern among having difficulty identifying your identity. Can you provide some basic info so we can probably get this webpage explained properly for you? Not the reading material I expect to find here. Judging from the article, the megs are getting concerned about. The fungus is a problem, sure, but they've engineered their crops around problems like it 100 times before. It's easier to update the monoculture genetics than your entire global economic model. Megs are probably more concerned about all the young people getting agitated about their job security. The warmer the waters, the bigger the storms they brew. I had enough that I'm walking to the lion's den here. Stepping even further into blue blood territory to defend an eager assassin? Do I really have to wait for the shoe to drop in a place this easy to? Are you perhaps not enjoying yourself, Adonai? You're getting better at picking up on that. You are farting quite openly. Are we in danger of getting arrested here? There's nothing illegal about Host Club. I don't even. I know what Host Club is. So are you just uncomfortable and unamused? Do you think they were being literal when they said you were expected to make a purchase? Probably. Doesn't mean I'll oblige them. Not like spending money here will make them less likely to cooperate. I would offer some suggestions based on customer reviews and price points, but for some reason I don't see prices listed on any of the items on their menu. Was a mistake made when formatting the data? Oh, honey. I really hate this place. You know what? Let's just get something for Sarah. I'll have the glass of the house red. The bartender raised their brow before nodding. They finished pouring. I'm left with a thin, neck glass of lively bubbling crimson. The unshakable feeling that a hole's been bored into my wallet. Candy red. Is that good? Most red wines are darker than that. And most red wines also smell more. You tell me I just bought a glass of food dye and vodka or something? Possibly. But you wouldn't be the only one to do so, looking around the room. Going to Rome is a pretty shitty logic when Rome happens to be burning cash all around you. Have you ever been to an establishment like this before? No. Not even when you were apprenticing. There have been certain work parties where attendance was strongly encouraged. But I've never set foot within a kilometer of a place like this otherwise. I suppose if you have a hard spending limit, there's only so much you can enjoy. It's not a matter of cost. It's a matter of taste. Surely everyone enjoys being paid attention, no? It's flattering. Not everyone takes to being complimented. I see. You respond more to being challenged? Actually true? What do you think? Perhaps not. Mom on deck. The big cheese. What exactly you were expecting? With a title like Mama? I would expect a stern but fearing, nurturing figure who... What the hell do you want? Is that how you greet a paying customer? That your wine glass? The one that hasn't been touched? I believe she is
letting it breathe. Thanks for the patronage. You ain't a customer. You're the lawyer defending the hound. Came here for information, not swill.
And he came out to speak with me anyway. I take it that means you're willing to talk?
Was my mouth flapping not a clear enough sign?
Introduction done. I'm
Morgan Esquire, criminal defense attorney representing the Soski Korea. The glowing green toaster is your +1.
couldn't have put it myself. Better, Miss,
Kim, Hana, small business owner.
Occupation small business owner. Like specimen, handbags, going cracking. Thank you for reminding me, Mama. Dislikes part-timers, binge watchers, and vandalism. Bael, hidden talent, can slice an onion paper thin in 11 seconds. Cool. Relaxes by shooting clay pigeon. What? Surely not actual pigeons, right? Auto promote from within, okay. Talk about. What do you think of the petit bourgeois, by the way, chat? You're thinking of Kim. They are the scum of the earth. And one of the more influential members of the Blue Blood Order, I take it?
You'll guard the only blue blood that have any influence at all. First into Youngbloods who count themselves lucky to be middle management.
Should you really be calling them Youngbloods?
Oh, now their neon robot is gonna preach to us all about political correctness.
Really, madam?
I know PC. I jet invented PC. You got PC coming out of our ears. So I mean it when I say Youngblood's a term of endearment.
Well then, I won't hesitate to use it.
To their face? Better not. And kick your teeth out.
How about a trade, Miss Kim?
Mrs. You're talking to a widow. One who doesn't need anything from you. Not the best position to start bargaining from.
We're trading information. If you think I can't give you anything, you're not thinking very hard.
Oh yeah? What do you think you've got?
You can tell that she doesn't already know. Probably just the real answer, but it's not what I'm looking for at the moment. I don't even have that great of a passage before. Okay, fair enough. What the Chopin said in you sort of. There's also the chance that he has no idea the Lord is even real. Okay. I thought that would be obvious, but I guess they didn't know. I can tell you what happened at the courthouse today.
If something worth knowing had happened, it would be in the news by now. There's currently a blackout on media coverage of today's events. There's always leaks.
Finding one will take time. I can give you a first-hand account right now.
Let's hear it. Press it. What a goddamn idiot. Completely useless. He did manage to infiltrate an entire courtroom full of police officers, even knowing he wouldn't make it out alive. He still failed to get the easiest shot of his life. Press is an incompetent addict. The useless idiot is the one who sent him there.
Not you, I take it?
Old Guard sounds like it moves slow and wise, but they've got a fair share of hot-headed dumbasses too. Ooh. Impatient, hot-headed dumbasses. Time is money.
My turn to ask a question. Funny. Is that why you've been going after Makoto? Trying to drum up the king's ransom because you can't go to war without a war chest?
Who says we're at war? Who says we're in a rush? Our plans are measured in decades, you little shit.
No, time isn't on your side right now. Right now, more than anything, you need money.
Says who?
It's the headlines. Time's running out before you miss the bus on...
Back at your tongue.
Nirvana. Oh, right. Joy. My bad, my bad. This is how you can tell I'm secret vibe chat. Everyone in the capital knows it'll be legalized before the end of the year.
Ah, party drug.
The money. Yes, the money. That's kind of money there is, and you could rake it in by the truckload. If you had the starting capital to build a dispensary network beforehand. As things stand, Great Wave is going to roll your handwork up the ball and hand it off greatly to the Megs. And the Ikaria. You've been losing this game to them for 3 decades straight, but I can see you still haven't gotten used to it.
Of course not. Who the hell just roll over for those upstart bootlicking? That goddamn fox. Smirking behind his perfumed incenses and painted screens and sheets of gold leaf. Should have cut out his eyes when I had the chance.
I'm acquainting them with Hound. Who's the fox?
We conduct the survey of all the IFG members' back tattoos. The fox, the kitsune. Goddamn Daisuke Haruya, of course.
Family's patriarch. Haven't had the chance to meet him in person.
Huh. No debris was into an Ikaria lawyer didn't already stink of cigar smoke. I deny dust smoke, despite my repeated warnings about the health hazards. Have you had your olfactory checkup lately? Loss of smell could be the first sign of...
I don't stink. Away. Now admit it. You want to capture Makoto Ikaria so you can afford to ride Nirvana to legitimacy.
I don't want to capture Makoto Ikaria. Know our history.
In brief.
What part of summary made you think that if I had the chance to end up with the Ikarian line, the chance to end the Ikarian line, I wouldn't take it immediately?
Are you speaking for yourself or for the whole lower card?
Huh. My turn to ask. Is the Hound gonna make it?
You asked about my legal defense strategy?
His injuries. Any chance he's gonna heal from an infection after Creek Spot worked him over? Bryson somehow managed to nick him? He's still recovering from the injuries he sustained when captured, but he was not harmed during the incident in the courtroom today. Bryson didn't even manage a single scratch. Not a scratch, huh? Get a shot off?
The detective on the scene responded before he could.
A detective?
Yes. Why?
Ugh. Not wasting a question on him, of all people.
Speaking of which, the ball spun back around. Blue Blood's working with the Chopin family to profit off of Proposition 492.
You missed that one. Try another. What do you mean? You think Mr. and Mr. Chopin... Mr. and Mr. Chopin are working hand in hand with us for a little lost class embezzling? Those rich fish wouldn't piss on us if we were on fire. Feeling is mutual. We're back in Proposition 492. If you could buy the land they need before the city knows that it needs it.
Chopin family aren't your collaborators. They're your marks.
Bingo. Kid gets a prize.
Where they were. Plan's worthless now. Whole courtroom heard me explain how Cregan had renting documents on Proposition 492. Whatever blueprints, whatever industry he had in mind, they'll change all of it.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Don't blame me. Your plan was always fragile. It was destined to collapse the moment that anyone with more pull than a ticketing officer heard that Blue Bloods had the eyes on the real estate. The Blue Bloods would kill to keep those documents from circulating.
Yeah, well, that's just how it goes with Plan B. Plan B. Now answer me this. What did you see on those Reddit docs that tipped our hand about Prop 492?
Well, it was mentioned in abbreviation, if not in name. P492. That was a pretty big giveaway.
He must have had more to go on than that. Names. Diagrams.
I saw Councilman Long's name on there.
Long. That sloppy bastard.
Wait, you didn't know it was on those papers? Not exactly. Didn't know where Prop 492 leaked from.
What'd he say? A leak from that Brat Creek, obviously.
Writing means it was printed off from somewhere you trust, in a place run by people you trusted. Doesn't sound like you trusted Creek.
Are these your questions? Because they're terrible. And pointless. Blondie's already dead.
hope it wasn't in the plan. What possibilities are left then? I also try asking while I have a chance. I had overheard some interesting activity. Like on the blue bloods bringing in a huntsman. Baked. You don't even know what that means. The client heard wrong. Fool for believing it without any proof. Sorry. Yes, he misheard. He must have also misheard that you brought a nomads into the city.
Did Sosuke mention that?
Oh, bluff Sarah. Yeah, he must have been delirious. After all, if there had been a nomad at the crime scene, it would have turned up in the police investigation. Huntsman. Ridiculous. Maybe he's real. He's fake. Maybe he's already behind you. Games like that get their power from uncertainty. If I answered your question at all, that'd be your answer. Schrodinger's box is already open though. Mask isn't there anymore. It's not in the hands of the huntsman. Then who has it? A dead man. Who just doesn't know it yet. Final round.
But what if we still want to ask?
Our house. My rules. Who hired you? I'll just spend our final question on that. Rotary Korea. That wasn't already clear. Uh-huh. You. Some no-name with no connection to any of the families. The preacher here looked you up and hired you to defend his town. Either you're dummy to be looked, or just unless you're in a lobotomy in the way. You really don't know the answer, do you? No, I don't. I can freely admit. So why just having it pointed out to me feel like such a... Time to think of it. I have one last question myself. That ain't the deal. It could be rhetorical. What are you going to do? You lost all your heirs during the fall of the Leaves.
Adonai.
You're relieved by the International Blue Bloods for locking your treasure behind GFA you can't crack. Now, all the old guard need transplants and the first and second gens to stay alive. I'll be glad to keep that up forever. Eventually you, all of you, will die. Will you rest in peace knowing everything you ever managed to build will be laundered at what? 30%? 40%. 35% just to end up in the hands of some punks you tortured? Sorry, some punks you tutored? What a nice son girl you are. Worrying about your eldest. Oh, don't worry your pretty little head over dear sweet granny here. She's a mean in a line of work when stupid dies off young. She and hers are gonna be just fine. Don't forget to close your tab before you go.
Did you get any useful information from your question, Adonai?
The question irritated her. Didn't make her despair. May have misread this. The old guard have a way forward.
Proposition 492 is no longer an option.
Leaving them with Plan A.
The Little Lord, Rhetoric Chopin, is dead.
Yeah. Yes. Huh. How dare they? After all they put him through down there in that festering hole of the city district. Try and kill Sosuke in the courtroom of all places. The nerve of those blue-blood scum. Just wait for him to stop. We'll be still standing here until morning.
So, should we speak up?
I don't know. I'm terrible with children. Listen, just nodding, and if he calms down enough to ask me a non-rhetorical question, get my attention.
What are you going to do?
Try consulting an expert. What do kids your age like?
Not my B-Day.
I'm not asking for you.
And I'm not a kid. I wouldn't know. If it's Basara, I'm not a robot either. What would someone younger than you want? I don't know. Even one grade below me. Their sense of humor is impenetrable. Other day, the school announced they're going to be doing test prep at every grade level. The top comment, or got deleted, was a picture of fish with books. Like a picture of fish with books. Is that an Italian brain rot reference? And the caption was, battering me and frying me in oil for 4 minutes on each. Not that impenetrable. It's a very basic non sequitur. How's this for non sequitur? I'll ask someone else. All I did there was get back on topic. Why are you even asking? I've been hired by a youth. And I need to interrupt the temper tantrum. Well, what do you want me to do from here? I can some fork knife box. What is that? Would that work? Also, what do you mean a youth hired you? Oh. They must be like rich? How does Morgan not know Fortnite? What did she play growing up? Yes. I'm like the worst to ask for advice for them. What do I know about rich kids? Your academy's full of them. What do you think I do as much of my schoolwork as possible for my dorm? You at least have a roommate? Nope. Never got assigned one. Except for some kind of unavoidable computer error on their end. This is hopeless. They're usually good at gift giving a shit. Letting up judges. Robbing court officials. Slipping coins into visitors' purses. I have a very antiquated view of what my work entails. Medieval, in fact. I heard he passed, did you know? Stop doing this. Morgan can't take anymore. She really can't. Whatever photo that is failed to send. GDI. I mean... What would you do if they were a rich adult? Flatter them or whatever? Rich adults are used to people wanting their money. Flattery puts them on guard. So what's the approach? You approach them as though you already work for them. Pretend you're a butler. Acting out wordless commands they've given without an original thought in your head. They aren't suspicious of anyone they feel like they already own. That mostly makes sense. Do that. You probably got more in common with a rich adult than kids their own age. You know. Anyone else with a soul? You can't, unless there's some reason you can't do your iconic butler technique here. You don't want to act subservient to a child. So you saying that you keep beheading own on text? Sasuke did strain himself slightly when he tried to tackle me to the ground, but that was the extent of it. Yes, as my ad says. No one was hurt. Well, the attacker was part of an officer-involved shooting, but no one else was hurt. Oh, well then perhaps we should forgive and just forgive all and make peace. Those fools regret their actions. The anger of the house, once aroused, is not easily satisfied. but he's ready to start back up again. As Sun Tzu says, if your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Well, yes, but please calm yourself, Makoto of House Ikaria. I need to speak with you. About what? About Sosuke. Think he's done something to deserve this? It's not what I... There's nothing Sosuke could have done to justify what the Blue Bloods have put him through. Seemed as much. But has no idea what the Hound of Ikaria was doing up until a year ago, does he? These questions are foolish. I'll not waste my time. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than learn from a wise answer. Quote the Bhagavad Gita all you want, robot girl. It's not impressive for a machine to... Bruce Lee said that. Well, he was probably paraphrasing at the time. Will you help us or not, Makoto? Please. If it's for Sosuke. Enough. Electric blue irises flash in deadly glare. Shadows seem to extend his presence. Curling in deep ink to drop into water. That's a gangster. Chairman. All of you, show some respect, now. He says that out of practice, without actually looking around the room. One glance had shown him there was no need to demand respect. Every head was already bowed. This is a man who was used to others not meeting his eyes. The rest of you, get lost. Their practiced obedience to betray them. They all slipped away into the halls of the complex without so much as a creak on the floorboards. Even so, their anxiety was screaming at me like a bad tell begging to be taken advantage of. His presence here today was not expected. Now then. Come here, Makoto Don. Grandpa. What? Excuse me, what?
Oh, think it's the front lines, huh?
Makoto is the heir. The chairman is his grandfather, of course, but...
My little warlord, making his enemies tremble with every time he sets foot out the door.
I was not expecting the head of a House of Nobility to be so... affectionate.
Well, it's Gen Z, girl. It's... It was really rough for us, okay?
I thought you and father were still in the capital.
Well, we were. And we made a lot of powerful people in that city very frustrated while we were at it.
Made a lot of frustrating people very powerful, I'm sure.
Wish I'd seen their dumb faces on me nodding while I cancel my meetings. Just to fly home and see my grandson.
Chairman, apologies for the lack of introduction. This is...
I know exactly who she is. She's a lawyer. Any good?
He is not entirely incompetent. I would hope he would say more than that. And she is also somewhat perceptive, Chairman.
Doesn't want to keep her mouth shut, clearly. How bad can she be?
Her methods are odd. She came here to ask me about Sosuke for some reason.
Not another word.
Chairman?
Back at the storehouse on the second floor. There's a cask of sake that I wanted drinking. I wanted to drink a game 5, or it's supposed to have been 6 years ago now. Would you go and fetch it for your grandfather?
Of course, but...
I'll trigger the trade. One sip and anything we tell her becomes inadmissible in court.
I see. Very clever, Chairman. Makoto's allowed to drink sake.
What's wrong with you? Of course you can't drink. It's the ceremony of it all, damn it.
Understood. I'll go retrieve it right away.
How one of those layabouts that were in here fetch you a ladder first? I think they were. But not soon a pair of glasses you stand there for the rest of your career. Else you've got nothing better to do. Or much less the fucking Slack work chat.
You'd be seated a certain way for... There was no cask of sake. Oh. And the strategy becoming intoxicated in order to avoid...
I made that up. You're the lawyer. Is there any truth to what I said?
No need for tricks like that. Attorney-client privilege already binds my hands. I'm working for House Ikaria right now, Sarah.
Hell.
Makoto could confess to me that he's a mass murderer, and I wouldn't be able to tell a soul. So then why did you send Makoto away, Mr. Chairman, sir?
I want to walk the gardens.
Are we supposed to follow him?
You left that part unsaid.
How can you tell?
Hey, quick sergeant meeting.
You know what a butler is, right? I'm glad you have such an appreciation for attorney-client privilege, sir. Makes these conversations go much smoother. But if you trust privilege so much, why don't you trust your grandson to be?
Don't kid yourself, Copper. That boy's the future of this family. Trust him, there's no point to any of this. Everything I built. Dynasties aren't dynasties unless you manage to actually pass them down.
What you built in the last 30 years is undeniably impressive. Must have required astonishing brutality.
Progress is brutality. And history is unkind to the gentle.
Is that why you orchestrated the fall of the leaves? In order to get your name in your books?
Orchestrated. So grand. So full of it. We knocked on their doors when they opened them. We shot them. Walked up to them on the street and spit their stomachs wide. Pulled up beside them and let loose full auto on their limos. If it wasn't anything as complicated as orchestrated.
Huh, we don't have his,
I executed it. Literally the next moment I advance, I get the fucking thing. Okay. Okay, game, you're a troll.
Like bodybuilding, archery, bonsai, just like phones at the dinner table? What? Bro, you're Gen Z, what? What do you mean phones at the dinner table? What? Undefeated at enjoying spicy food. Smells like cedar, tobacco, iron, and dried blood. Handshake vice-like.
Hell yeah, bro. Aura. And my uncle named me a successor for it.
The Blue Bloods weren't even able to put up a fight.
They were worried about handshake events and social media perception. Thought that their friends in high places would be there when they needed them. Thought they had already won.
So how'd you get away with it?
Good timing. No one notices Leaky Faucet in a downpour.
This was right before the red ticket got underway?
And once the border started bucking up, no chance of reinforcements. We never saw it coming. We didn't know there was a bubble.
It's too on topic of the devil, please stop.
We didn't think things would get that bad. That's what they always say. The losers. Scapegoats paraded in front of courts and cameras to meekly reassure the national audience that, no, couldn't have done anything. We did everything right. So did we. We're all victims of uncontrollable market forces here. Stale bread for a piss-poor circus. With a pity party instead of proper gladiators. I saw the signs, but more importantly, I didn't ignore them. Droughts from heaven, no grain in the storehouses. There would only be room for one family of thieves in the city. I made sure it was mine. Last call, all aboard.
Everything you built since then? Energen, Oreo Holdings, the legitimate app you're so proud of?
That was the easy part, actually. Reprivatizing an industry is tricky business. How do you break up a state-controlled monopoly into a healthy, diverse, and competitive private marketplace?
How?
I don't know. I'll let you know if they ever pulled off. The shit show they did go with was easily gained. Sprinkle some cash in the right bureaucrats' pockets, and we were able to snap up entire economies wholesale.
We being the nobility?
If that's the term you prefer.
Adonai, why is he confessing? He's not confessing, Sarah.
This is bragging.
Mr. Rapuya, I'm not looking to take up too much of your time, but perhaps you could help me understand something.
Inciting incident, as they say.
In screenwriting,
They say it elsewhere too, probably. A year ago, you extended an olive branch to the Blue Bloods over Nirvana. Is it genuine? My curiosity was genuine. But not your financing. Is that why it fell apart? Why Makoto was attacked? It fell apart because those first gen young bloods of theirs are hot-headed idiots who can't follow orders. But I expected as much. That's why I ordered my hand to be present, on standby.
Didn't assassinate anyone that day, did he?
No. Instead, Sosuke stepped in front of a blade that was headed for Makoto. He's been guarding that boy with his life ever since.
Was that your order as well?
My order, yes. Not my idea. But I'm the patriarch, not a dictator. If my sweet sibling and darling nieces and nephews make an earnest request, who am I to refuse?
You had to be pressured into letting Sosuke guard Makoto? Weren't you concerned about Makoto's safety?
Of course I was. I just know the best place for the queen is on the attack. Not hop around the king's sides blocking checks.
Chess metaphor. Help me out. Any piece can sacrifice themselves. There's only one queen, and she has by far the most mobility. It's rare to keep her out in the open, ideally. Near the center of the field where she can attack freely. At least assuming you subscribe to... Okay, got it. But here's the question. Why have the Blue Bloods kept trying to capture Makoto for over a year now? As some hot-tempered idiots?
What's your answer? Why do you think they were to capture our little Makoto town?
Earlier after Makoto's blood, they want to steady supply. They tried to arrange Mira down the line, but it didn't seem to change. Makoto got it. They could slowly once. After you would make them pay in every other way. The price tag was big enough to ease all the Blue Bloods' woes. The resulting gang war would drain the coffers all the same. People can easily kill for money. Then take Makoto hostage? Those aren't lacking in motives for revenge. Bloody culling is followed by 3 decades of accumulation. More than enough. The most fitting revenge would involve them killing Makoto, not taking him captive. While I can't imagine plenty of ways to extract revenge from a living subject, gangs have to maintain a balance between being feared and being tolerated. If the Blue Bloods proudly tortured a child to death, they're either lower rewards by their own constituents. Well, they wouldn't want to capture Makoto. They don't. A certain mom has said much to my face. They'd much rather kill your soul there than capture him.
It's what I'd do. If they had any heirs left.
But then, why keep attacking Makoto if not to capture or kill him?
The goal's never been Makoto.
Is that every time they've gone after their goal, Makoto's been there? You mean...
Put it another way.
The purpose of an operation is what the operation accomplishes. They've been trying to capture Sosuke for over a year. The other day, they finally succeeded.
You think those idiot punks want to take my hand alive?
I don't think. I know. Because that's literally what they did. Captured Sosuke and brought him down to the lower wards.
To torture him? The idiots. They don't talk up to the third. We'll never talk.
The third what?
It wasn't just any blue blood that tortured him. It was a podling led by a young blood named Young Gold, bound by blood or water. They're all the same scum. As you say, but I've learned something that there are some pretty big ideological rifts among that scum. Young blood that captured him. I've done old guard orders. But just an hour ago, an old guard was asking how close to his health. They didn't want him harmed. A generous interpretation. I'm guessing the young bloods knew that, but they tortured him anyway. Probably because they wanted to know why they've been after him. Oh, with it. Why would they want my hound? The Blue Blood's mom ultimately is simple. So simple that. Never mind, Android can answer this one.
I can.
What's the Blue Blood's need right now, more than anything?
A lot of money. Without which they can't invest in utilize Nirvana.
It's a shame that. We'll happy to pick up where they left off. So at a time where they need money, they're throwing their young bloods at capturing Sosuke. There we go. Capturing Sosuke must open a path for them to get their hands on lots of cash. My. I look away for a few days and suddenly my hounds just skyrocketed in value. Who do I have to thank? Who raised the price on his head to such a degree?
What about Sosuke makes him so valuable?
It would be good damn money to get back to favorite pawn. That's it. You can always train another hound. You can kill her. Build an infiltration in. The Blue Bloods are gonna brainwash him? Have him teach a seminar? There's just Sosuke has nothing to do with his abilities. Who raised the price in Sosuke's head? You did. 30 years ago, you made him irreplaceable when you killed everyone else shares a drop of his blood. Oh!
Sosuke is the Little Lord.
Last son of the Blue Bloods' ruling families, and the only person on Earth who can get back their fortunes. Hell of a shot in the dark. You're gonna do that? Sarah, when did the attacks, supposedly on Makoto, begin?
About a year ago.
What else happened about a year ago?
Feuding between the Blue Blood and the Ikusuke that fell into chaos.
Makoto made it out without a scratch. Just Sosuke stepped in front of a blade for him. I could assume that Sosuke is an impressive martial artist.
With very well-defined pectorals and collarbones.
Even he must have let blood on the floor that day. Yeah, he had blood that day. It's not as if he blood blue. Tell me the old guard could just smell the resemblance? He didn't need intuition or guesswork. Private security organization, Finest, isn't the business of securing crime scenes, cleaning them up, and performing paternity tests. Could have been a whim. Could have been they were hoping to match him to DNA left at other hound attacks. Who knows? But I would pay good money to have been a fly on their wall when they saw the results.
His reaction to this information is not very strong.
As to be expected. I just told him a bunch of information that he already knew.
He already knew Sosuke was the Little Lord.
That chess metaphor used a minute ago might have sounded like a solid reasoning if I actually played. Unfortunately for you, I find the game boring. It struck me as very odd that a grandfather like you, equal parts zoning and calculating, whatever places air safety below concerns as big as optimal play. You didn't object to Sosuke guarding Makoto because you wanted to keep him out. You just couldn't convince the rest of the house it was a bad idea without revealing who Sosuke really is.
He knew Sosuke was the real target, would keep getting attacked, and having him guard Makoto would actually be putting Makoto in danger.
You know, bonsai? They look like miniature trees, but they aren't. They're shrubs. You condition it to look like a miniature tree. By pruning it daily, it'll stop trying to grow into what it's meant to be. Instead, it lives as we want it to be. It took the Blue Bloods 30 years to figure out my scheme, and you solved it in what? 48 hours? You deserve a toast. I wish that sake was in that storeroom. Instead, As a reward for your effort, I'll give you a story. 30 years ago, I saw the future. Not in statistics or stock prices or consumer confidence indexes. I saw it in people's eyes. Fear and delusion. A sinking feeling that maybe everything is really made of bullshit and seafoam. And if you ever stop to look down at it, you'll fall through to the bottom. Can't warn people, and they won't believe you. They'll strangle you to death for implying their boat might have a leak. Only one thing to do in times like those. Take advantage. For 1 year we pulled back. No resistance, no bargaining. We let the blue bloods hungrily swallow what we had left behind. For 1 full year we withdrew and waited to sharpen our knives. 1 year of preparation. For 1 weekend in August. Hottest August on record. They left all the goddamn windows open. It went fast. We'd show up, get to work, leave the mess for whoever cared to see it, and drive up to the next address. I did 22 myself. Even had you asked me back then, I can tell you the first thing about any of them. Except for the 22nd. He had firm eyes. Cold eyes. No, not that harsh. Cool eyes. A condensation on steel. And she was very brave. I took aim at her. She blinked. Not even upset. Just exasperated. Like I neglected to hold the door for her. My mouth was dry. Felt like I hadn't spoken all day. I had to clear my throat to speak up so she could hear me over the blabbering of the river she fled to. The shots in the distance. I wanted to ask her why. Why out here? Why not a panic room? Why she was wearing a medical gown and why her thighs were covered in blood. But instead I just asked, why aren't you afraid? She said, I can't be afraid. I'm a mom now. I've always liked that answer. When the pistol stopped ringing in my ears and I heard the baby wailing in the bushes, I felt inspired. It's tradition in our family going back centuries that the eldest child be guarded from a birth by a nursemaid. Typically, from a branch family. My wife would be done in the Hayakawa clan, but an unfortunate casualty of that month. There was an opening.
Expertly done?
Why let him live?
Adonai.
So that I could invent the little Lord. The villager wanted a golden brick to retreat across.
You started the rumors about a survivor?
So long as those fools still had hope that they could reclaim their former glory. They never really rallied themselves into chipping away at ours. If they ever did become a real threat again, I'd have the world's most valuable hostage ready to put them back in check.
Not bad, actually. I'm impressed at your cunning, sir. Your enemy's last hope into a meat shield for your family, and eventually, your personal attack dog.
That was just a bonus. The heir had come of age, and so had Sosuke. He was free to choose any career in the family business at that point. He became the hound of his own accord.
Sure. But that's just irrelevant at the end of the day. What? Helps me understand why the Blue Bloods have done what they have, but doesn't put me any closer to proving Sosuke's innocence. But Sosuke is their little lord. We tell people, won't that change anything? Well, for starters, we won't have any of this in court.
Of course not. Can't exactly go telling the court about my exploits 30 years ago. No one have the attorney-client privilege.
If you use your influence, if you reach out to the Blue Bloods.
What? We'll work together to set Sosuke free? I killed everyone you could ever consider family copper. Besides a few old quirks waiting to die. Anyone who shares a drop of his blood is in the ground. Most of them put there by me. I did all that to sink the Blue Bloods. Oh, they're finally ready to die? You think I'd throw them a lifeline just to protect one man? Just to keep one man out of prison?
He's right. I'm not allowed to disclose anything I've learned here without his express permission.
It would complicate the tax against my family terribly if it came out that they're allowed about a blood relation, wouldn't it? This case in the will, after all.
That's the law?
Didn't mean to run in your circles, honestly. I preferred you never wasted your time unearthing any of this. That's what I get for relying on him to deliver a message, I suppose.
You're the one who wanted to keep my investigation limited.
I thought you'd get the picture and hurry up and make a plea deal. Negotiate the charges down to manslaughter. Get this all squared away so we can focus on fighting this damn audit.
Audit? Sosuke is on trial for his life.
Sosuke is sworn to protect his family with his life. I'm respecting his wishes. If he does go to prison, who else will die knowing their little lord is alive? They're permanently beyond their reach, rotting in a cell for killing their own men, in defense of their worst enemy. I can see why you wouldn't mind that outcome. A hostage that you were never willing to sacrifice isn't just a hostage. Just a babysitting gig. I spared his life 30 years ago. This doesn't even cover his interest.
But Sosuke has always been just a tool for you. A hostage you protected until the perfect use came along.
I've always wondered, do tools appreciate that part? When they're used properly? What do you think, Copper? Does Sosuke have any complaints? Oh, that's good.
That doesn't make sense.
Huh?
Sosuke is a veteran. He served in the military. Did you grant your hostage permission to go risk his life for his country instead of you?
It's not like he was one of those Minutemen they throw at walls. He was never in any real danger.
What about as your hound? Deadly assassination infiltration mission. He could have died during any of them. Why let your perfect hostage, your obedient tool, take on such dangerous work? Why give him your last name? Why let him live under your roof, raise him like a son? Why trust him with protecting the life of your son? Your grandson? Why are you lying and pretending you don't?
Part of my Android's outburst, sir. I'll have to adjust our conversational parameters later. Don't bother. Just rip his voice box out entirely if he's going to speak over a man under his own roof. Goddamn Copper. Guess the first word would be tell me what I feel about my own damn family. Raise him like a son. What bullshit. I have no son. Counselor, your damn job and tell Sosuke to do his. Now.
I'm sorry. That wasn't very butler-like behavior just now.
That's fine. It was a good play in that moment.
But you think he meant that?
I don't know.
Do you think he meant it when he said he has no son?
Kodo is Daisuke's grandson. He has no sons, and the previous heir that Sosuke grew up guarding must have been
Kodo's mother.
Oh. No wonder. Is it safe to assume everyone in your family has severe trust issues?
I have no issues with trust myself. But as you've seen, House has been very particular. Has very particular preferences when it comes to information siloing.
Fancy words. You could have just told me who you are.
I told you my name and position in the house. Is it relevant that I'm married? That I'm a mother? Should I be flattered?
You told me you work for Aria Holdings. You didn't mention you're at least the second most powerful member of the house.
If I had to tell people that, it wouldn't really be true now, would it?
You could have told me your relation to Sosuke. He guarded you every day of your life up until you were 19. 19? Your goddamn brother. Next search for me. So that message you want to be passed along. You can see a way out. Take it. I'm going to try to make a deal with the Blue Bus to get out from under the house.
If Sosuke merely gave them what they wanted, I'm sure there would be dozens of Blue Buds ready to confess crime CCQ stuff.
So you know. You knew. I feel like you could parse that message. That means Sosuke...
Untouching. Really stubborn about all the most frustrating things.
Back a moment. Your father didn't want me uncovering Sosuke's parentage. Most likely because he didn't want Sosuke to know the strength of his own bargaining position. But you told me to pass Sosuke a message that he only understand if he knew who his parents were. For how long has he known? And how long have you known he's known?
And when did Daisuke cease knowing who knows what? Around the time Sosuke left for the military, helping him to find out your entrance physical. Just before he left for the military, actually. That influenced his decision. He finds out he could be the richest man in the city, and then he wants to risk dying in battle? Not the guilty class consciousness. I don't know exactly what did or didn't influence his decision to join the military back then. We'd have to ask him. You were the heir apparent up until Dakota was born. All that time, Sosuke was your bodyguard? And driver. And poison taster, though that would most often entail giving him precautions to try. But his assignment actually ended when I was married. Back from Dakota's age, that had been over a decade ago. So he joined the military the moment he didn't have to shadow you anymore? After he got back, he has to become a hound? Guy must really hate guard duty. Must. What did the Blue Bloods want from Sosuke precisely? Blood donation? One sample will not suffice. They need to be able to validate their accounts whenever called for. Deal with blood donations then. I told you. The old guard wants to become the nobility. Not these cement alliances among the aristocracy of old. They want Sosuke to marry? But the old guard are old. Sosuke's already got as much blue in his veins as they could ask for. They don't want him to remarry into them. They need him to remarry into power. To marry into power. Not the worst thing to have asked to do. Have you ever been in an arranged marriage? Don't call it a gift. I apologize for any gaps of knowledge you had to work around. Hopefully you now understand how delicate of a situation you found yourself in. Yeah, I can smell the explosive and hear the fuses sizzling. I just don't get why no one's gone over to stomp them out. Sosuke known this whole time why the Blue Bloods wanted to capture him. Why didn't he tell us? Where was her opinion on Long John Silver's? Long John Silver. Okay. You did a fast food pun on me? They're not even in Canada, Bacon. The nearest one that listed for me is New York. New York. Oh my god. I gotta get my phone. Well, not get my phone, but just get my phone. Everyone hates on it so bad, but I like it if only it's a bit. More than that, then I get sick. That's not just with Taco Bell. Yes, he's a stubborn man working for a high secret family. That I get. What I don't get is why he didn't defect the moment he learned the truth. Who knows? I'll have to work out the rest with him. I've given you all the aid my position allows. I suppose it was kind of you to share information with us at all. Being in charge of the legitimate side of your family, you don't have any connection with this incident yourself. What? Was there something I missed? piece of evidence by crime scene. What? How? I scrubbed over every fucking thing there. Oh, god damn it. No, I suppose you don't have a connection to this case. My apologies. I'm not used to members of your family going out of their way to be open and informative. Thank you. Don't thank me. There was a note on the desk. What the fuck? I swore. I swore I hovered over everything. What the fuck? I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm mad most importantly at myself. Don't thank me. I can't stand that. Save Sosuke's life. So, where should we begin?
What do you mean? I'm afraid I don't have anything new to tell you. Sorry about all the most frustrating things, was it? I'm your lawyer, Sosuke. We're sworn to always do what's best for our clients, their rights, and their privacy. To an extent that may be considered extreme, we are unable to disclose incriminating or otherwise problematic information our clients give us, no matter the circumstances. This whole system is designed to benefit the defendant. So it really upsets me. I find out that my clients are lying to me about vital information that could help me save their lives. Troubled by my nature of the work as the hound. You're adopted. Yes, from the High Cow. That's bullshit. You know it, I know it. People whose opinions you respect know it. Fine. All members of the military have extensive DNA samples on record. My subpoena... Right, stop. Just stop. Does the military keep all its members' DNA on record? I don't know. Probably, right? Yes. I know what you're referring to. Even before I knew, like... Wonder.
If you've known about your real family for a decade, why haven't you ever...
It doesn't matter.
First time that's true, but...
If it was in a game where for over a year trying to get to you. That's their choice. There's nothing to do with me. How can you... I'm appalled, Sasuke. How can a brave soldier sit in the house of victory and allow violence to continue when he knows he could stop it? I'll work with the attempt, counselor. Sorry. Guess I'm not used to having to persuade people to act in their own best interest. Or that of their family. Family? Your career raised me, fed me, taught me how to read, write, walk. Gave me a home, a purpose. They're using you. They need me. You've got a funny way of showing it. I owe everything to them, and nothing to the dead. Saying that about your own mother? Crazy? They're only dead because the man you call a father murdered them. He did that a long time ago. Two people I've never met. You'll have to forgive me if I'm short on empathy for something strange. Holy shit, man. Aunts, uncles, cousins, parents, siblings. Can't call them complete strangers, Sosuke. Die. Oh, speaker of family or my We are my family. Nothing will change yet. Nothing ever could.
What's this then?
Pardon?
State thinks you murdered a cop. Then make sure no one ever thinks of following your example. Let me repeat that. The full brunt of the police state is about to fall directly on the back of your neck. You're about to get kirked, buddy. Hammer. Nail.
I'm not afraid of prison.
Ever been in one?
What? No,
They shave you.
What?
When you're convicted, they shave you. For hygiene. It's not for hygiene.
What about that virtual work release thing? They fit you for skull caps?
Not right away. They don't do that to people. Put a man in chains, strip him naked, still with mouth shut, he'll still recognize himself in the mirror. Still a person. Shave his head, give him a uniform, make him sit in the dark with 500 others who've been treated the same. He starts to forget. Forget that he's a person. After you're so bored you're seeing constellations in concrete, and after you're scratching your skin raw just to feel something new, that's when they ask you if you like a job. After people stop being people. Hey there, due to the ongoing controversy following the suspected suicide of inmate Jay Gil. Is this an Epstein reference? I can't believe I'm saying that. But Gillet is so on nose for just like I genuinely can't tell. I genuinely can't tell anymore. Oh shit. Wait, how many chips do we have? Hell yeah. I'm a defense attorney, Sosuke. I'll just see the inside of a prison and walk away afterwards. Makoto sent me himself. So you never actually took your one phone call, did you?
I
Take my phone and call Hana Kim. The Blue Bloods will volunteer a fall guy to confess to these crimes and you'll walk free. After which you'll become one of the richest men in the city overnight.
that's not
If you are at all curious, I have done some calculations to estimate the extent of your familial holdings. The number is quite remarkable. Though I suppose I haven't taken taxes into.
no one's asking you to ban the Korea.
You become the greatest ally.
Together your families would. I know exactly what would happen if I mean I won't do it. Why the hell not?
Why not, Sosuke?
A few small details involved in this process. Namely, disowning the people who raised me my entire life, and claiming myself before the world as the son of the people I've been fighting since I was a teenager. How shameless do you think I am? Daisuke, that man raised me like his own son, and in return I can't throw away the name maybe just for goddamn money.
Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Is that it? You would rather rot in prison as an Ikaria
than live in luxury as a blue blood? Gladly. This is my answer, Morgan. If you try and use my forensics in the trial tomorrow, I'll dismiss you as my counsel and change my plea to guilty.
If that's your answer. That's your answer. You're the client. What do you say goes?
Right.
So if you somehow last another night without the cops smuggling you in your sleep, some kind of strategy when we go into court tomorrow.
Of course we will. And what are your thoughts on the matter?
Might have found a window of opportunity. A chance that someone other than you had the means, motive, and opportunity to commit these crimes. Have you remembered anything else about your captivity?
Maybe go over it again and I extrapolate somewhat. A lot.
We'll need to be prepared. You're gonna be called to the stand tomorrow. All I need to do is keep silent, right? Keep out or not. I'll be the one asking the questions. You're going to call him to testify.
What do you expect me to say up there?
I want you to tell the truth, of course. I want you to tell the court exactly how you were set free. Surely you don't mean that, right? Alright. You're taking another night shift? You're reading, but I'd rather you didn't get shanked at the moment. Of course, Adonai. Detective London will be back shortly, and I'll make sure Silsuke is monitored all night.
What is it? You're gonna ask me to explain that decision?
I'm trying at this point. I don't think his decision is that confusing. He wants to be loyal to the people who have shown loyalty to him.
Oh, loyalty. Let's see it. Spot any members of the noble house of people around here? Are they hiding under a box somewhere?
People who have shown loyalty to him historically. The question does confuse me, but his choice of words considers the Ikri as true family, and he spoke of a debt to them. That seemed odd. What do you think? I don't know. Do they really shave everyone in prison? Or is that another bluff?
Not everyone. Only everyone who can't pay the fees. Oh. She's so hot, man. A good puzzle feels satisfying to complete. Like a good story, it maintains the field even when viewed inside. That puzzle doesn't make sense after you finish it. The picture's there, but it's muddled, vague. I feel like an idiot for bothering to piece it together. Theory is that kind of puzzle. Fit every edge to every edge just so. The result wasn't satisfying. You're inclined to cap off frustrating kids. How do I keep track of what the cops know, what the blue bloods know, what the Ikari are hiding, what I've learned, what I know to be true, what I can prove, what I can actually. After all that, getting a recap of my client refused the last card. I'm gonna clear my head. It'd be empty. Fake. Excuse me. I'm in the mood for people watching. If I let my eyes on focus, I support traffic on the streets below me. Buildings are warm, dark, and neat. Rolling slightly, they just forms along the petri dish of the world around me. Edges lost beyond the horizon. Which can be zen in its own way. Yes. Guessing that's what people see in ant farms, but I wouldn't know. I really like ants. I would want more insects crawling. Really? I'm not hungry. Baking is satisfying. I like chemistry, which is just applied math. The cleanup isn't fun. When I don't have a neighbor I'm trying to butter up or a client to visit, everything just sits in there until I end up throwing it out. I seem to shovel it all down without complaint, but not here now. I forget if she can even eat. I was still living in, that witch's office. I never wanted for hungry mouths. Coworkers will eat anything you think out of a. If I ever get truly desperate to hide evidence, I'll just begin to apply and find an office birthday party to crash. What? It'll be gone without a trace of menace. That's nutty. I don't feel like finding something to stream. Sarah's messed up all my recommendations anyway. Homepage used to be great, even to a T. Get closed circuit footage of industrial machine accidents and big gun assemblies with no commentary in the title. What are you doing, Morgan? You're watching Chinese CCTV in accidents? What? I would say something is wrong with her, but that is already widely known. Yeah, you just have to put up with this. Now it's all street workout videos and film director tier lists. Oh, but she has taste. The end result of my internet search history looks like a little more... The end result of my internet history looks a little more random to an outsider. I guess I can forgive it. But if she ever gets me added to analysts for diet supplements, I'm fully revoking her access. It's pointless. Might as well close my eyes and wait. I'm staring daggers into the backs of my own. Do more good than this. And for this is... Hey, cool kid. Yet, if you go to jail for starting this pyramid scheme of an extracurricular activity, that help or hurt your chances of becoming a lawyer? Trying to recruit members because if you don't hit critical mass, this all falls apart. Exactly like your pyramid. Well, I don't know that I can give you advice since I'm only a member on paper, but if you want to start a club for solving mysteries, then you should, you know, solve one first. I don't know, ask questions, talk to people, I guess. Or what they say. Take notes and think hard. Oh, you never know. You can be pretty persuasive, or at least entertaining. I mean, I'm still sitting here for some reason, right? Guess I fell asleep after all. Still dark out though. Time is it? 5 in the morning? 9:40 on my phone. I slept for 30 minutes? That's it? What's going on with me today? Am I really about to give up and start scrolling on my phone? Check my temperature. Maybe something wrong. I don't feel like going to find a thermometer. Go to bed. And says the first article that pops up is an advertisement. Always good news every night. But at school dinner, given dance off to the place. Postpone retirement. Don't know that. Federal investigation for Denny's girl. Rats are no longer being kidnapped. It's got me 600, you little shit. Could you gonna read it? Nation rejoices tonight as the daughter of renowned philanthropist Joseph Dennings has been confirmed safe and sound thanks to efforts of federal investigators, spearheaded by a playbook that applies old techniques to tackle new challenges. Dennings originally rose to prominence as CEO of Constantine, was at the time a marketing firm's virtual advertising. Dennings' vision for the advertising frontlines, with heads-up displayed services cracked open the previously uncharted market of active duty force members, serving them relevant, relatable, automatically generated content that products they bought desktop on their doorstep when they got home. After making Constantine one of the leading advertising agencies in the world, Dennings thought that he'd finally get to spend time with his family when he graciously stepped down as CEO to focus on philanthropy, also serving as COO in his advisory role. The tragedy struck earlier this week when his daughter was kidnapped on her way home from school in an attack investigators described as meticulously planned and flawlessly executed. When the vicious attackers contacted the Dennings family and demanded an exorbitant ransom of an undisclosed amount, a lesser man would have panicked, or worse, given in to their demands. Fortunately for his daughter, Dennings is not a lesser man. Those 24 hours are essential. We need every minute we can get. It's really quite remarkable that Mr. Dennings was clear-headed enough to contact us right away. That one investigator close to the operation. Investigators sprang into action. But here our story takes a hero's turn. Instead of searching the map for a young Dennings girl, we have the psychology of the kidnappers themselves. We really describe this as a terrorist act. But the sick terrorists who committed this atrocity did do us the courtesy of being openly and often. The way they spoke, the words they chose, we started to narrow down their possible backgrounds. Then we revisit the crime scene. Investigators spread their breakthrough to the footage of kidnapping that indicated the terrorists had military-level training and discipline. Carrying out the attack in a so-called quartet formation considered the signature of the military's elite hostage. Anyone could read handbooks and try to copy what they've seen in military sense, but this brutal act of class-motivated violence was carried out without so much as a shot fired. Miraculously. Feels like that. Unfortunately for the suspects, they're as unique as fingerprints. We had warrants to search all 4 suspects' properties within the hour. While some less dignified members of the press questioned the nature of this horrific crime,
Asking pointed questions about a possible relationship with Mr. Denning's past and Mr. Denning's past work and the suspect's military backgrounds. The director of the investigation's Valentine avoided them bustling over the sexy reply of no comment. Mr. Denning's associations have no bearing on the value of his daughter's life. I'm glad to say, is no longer in any danger. For that, we have to thank the special efforts of the brave young investigators to my left here. Investigator Ayase, Technical Analyst Solkov, Special Agent Greenfield, and Special Agent Beckham. Together they are used of period as regarded by anti-authority, outside actor, anarchists, inciting anxiety and anonymously. Join us in our push to make all internet searches directly to citizens' tax return ID. What the fuck? No? Sign up below and we'll direct you on how to help. How's that for long odds? The chance I see that. Perfect time, actually. Maybe trying out Murray for keeping the darkest of the night. The woman was like a black. That knock doesn't sound like Murray. But they darkened your door. I wonder if you are in hex. Wait. The voice almost sounds like up already is shit. Better check the door cam. Oh. Detective. Is that you? Open up. Pardon? Then open up. Hang on, are you? Don't pretend you can't hear me in a little cave, you little... Reyes, are you? You're on... Yes. No. It's a crime for you to ask me that. Oh. I can just wave my badge to the hello door. I can wave my badge hello to the door cam. But just unlocks like that? Cannot be legal. It's not legal. What? Wait. What model of door is it? Oh yeah. This model of door in the city zone. It is illegal for me to unlock your door like that. Guess Han had need to make spare keys a fair trade-off to avoid this bullshit. And since you just invited me in, I did not. Here I am, above the book. What's happening right now? Why is there something all the way up there? We should go get a place this huge. What do you even do with this much space? Hang from the rafters like a bat? Echo? Echo. Girl. Detective, this is absurd. No one even know you're... No one even know you're here? Let me check. Reyes. Badge number 10806, reporting on all channels. Self-assignment, protective surveillance of suspected criminal target, threat assessment begin to low. Current target capabilities. Not path to self or others. Running in from... What's your address? Do not dox me to every cop in the city, Reyes. Running in from address withheld. Any copies? Over. Copy. You about to murk her? What the fuck are you about to do, Morgan? Copy. Cam saw you entering the building. Copy. Reading your biomonitor. We got you. 2806. Have a quiet night. Finished. Hey. There's a snowball. What? There's our hands in a row. How much thing? Loud shit. Snowball. Porky ball. Match a ball. Kara's doing the job. Likely story. Probably make her sleep in a coffin in a parking garage. Half of David's setup. She might be more comfortable if I did. This boobs? Is this burrows? That's water. Ugh, odd. Can I do something for you this evening, detective? Did you come here just to critique my interior decorating and knock shit over? I came here because I'm drunk. I'm drunk because you're in danger. Other way around. I drank because I was pissed. Austin never else somebody to go home. Even though he shot a guy only a few hours ago. I'm the one who's too emotional and too
useless. I came here to catch a bad guy. Because you are defending that cop killer. There's also an orca killer. A whale cop killer. Killer whale cop. Every activity in the city wants to shoot him. Also you, because you're a stinking lawyer. Thanks? I'm supposed to protect people. Even stinky. Thanks? I'll park myself right here and catch the next assassin they send after me. And lock him up and throw away the key. How shit-faced is she? If I accidentally saved your life too, that's okay. Even if you don't deserve it. What? Could've just stopped talking. I can stop talking easy. You really know how big a drink? I'm not sure I want to drink with you, detective. What invited you? You're the host. Whatever, but I am gonna do what I gotta do. What the hell is this fruit top? If I have to host a drunken detective rise for the rest of the night, as I evidently do, plus I need to force myself to go through the ordeal sober. I'll get a bottle opener, detective. Oh shit. Said I'll get it. Kick her out. Wait. That's part of the bit. It breaks down the horsepower. Yes, they all abided this general like we know where the engines are. Horsepower capped at 270 or so. To avoid this, like, arms race engineering in a country with such a huge street racing scene. Right? The crazy part is, it was only ever on paper. Reyes is such a mess. She's so funny. We're building and selling cars with 300 plus horsepower. I'll just list the horsepower as 270. Domestically. Yeah? God, everybody knew it. I mean, I was on the same car, with the same engine, with the same goddamn torque rating in 2 different countries, and they were saying, oh, I don't know, I think it's only 276. That's crazy. I was born in the wrong generation. I'll die without even knowing what gasoline smells like. Gasoline is odorless. What? It's odorless. They added a strong smell during refinements that least could be noticeable. That's natural gas, you dummy. Scared me for a second. Jeez. You gonna try and ruin something for me that I never had the chance of experiencing? You better get it right. That's know the difference between gas and gasoline. So, new Chopin? So you knew Chopin. God. We dated, okay? Happy? I wouldn't have guessed that. For how long? Once. Which is not a lot. I know. It was such a shitty date. Wore his uniform. I was supposed to salute. God, was he cheap. I said, what do you tip the bartender for? And he got all confused. Just handed me 2 cans. Why would I tip? It's the goddamn bartender, man, that's why. I always tell when someone grew up with money. Maybe they just can't hide it. Maybe none of them ever learned the decency to try. Proper's not so bad. I mean, it's obvious still, but
Your hair to park on an offset set.
Yeah, that's...
What do you mean? Emma comes from money?
Guess even you can tell a joke.
Worst date I've ever been on.
First it looked like she was gonna stab him. I think he was allergic to salt with all the nitpicking he did.
And he has the balls to tip 10%.
That is bad.
Oh, what do you know? Probably haven't been on a date since the 60s.
How old do you think I am? I was talking about the tip.
What tip? Oh, the tip. Well, yeah, but still. Didn't have a dating profile?
Reyes, I can't tell what mood you're going here. Are you trying to make this like the most messy rebound? Or just hang around funeral homes and castles and shit, looking for other creatures at night?
I don't have a dating profile.
You met Chopin through an app?
Yeah. Dating app for cops.
There's a dating app for cops.
Yeah, just for cops. Just for all.
What's it called just for all if it's just for cops?
It's a...
Oh, it's a pun. Well, not really a pun. Wordplay.
Play our words for justice for all. Top catchphrase. We say it all the time. But we catch people. There's an app for everyone. Probably even lawyers with sun allergies.
I don't think there's an app for me.
Hang on, let me protect the hologram of the world's smallest violin out of my eye socket. Apps suck anyway. This one I matched, she was terrible. Her teeth. I'm gonna smile at some shit. She was all teeth. It was her first kiss. You remember your first?
Reyes?
Girl from the first chapter?
Um. Oh, you mean like the attendant? I thought it would been. Oh, Han for a second. She is very smiley. I don't know why everyone's so concerned with firsts.
How's that, man?
Don't worry about it.
I have never once given a second thought to anything you say, so get that straight.
I'll slap the guy's dumb face at the end of that date. Oh, never mind. It's a guy. We were all wrong.
And I didn't even recognize him. When I came in, he was face down. Whole floor, blood, blood and paper. Couldn't turn him over, had to preserve the scene. Let's leave him there. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I'm angry.
You seem to get angry a lot.
You better anger man, Desmond. You know what that's about?
Managing anger?
Keeping calm. Not letting your emotions control you. I'm good at all of that.
You say so.
I do say so. Though I'm feeling most of the time, I'm a goddamn saber on my stay. I'm just too small. The hole in the bottom of a big water tower. Fills up faster than rain. If I was big, I would trample this whole city down. Long before my anger's gone. It even seemed like the people from the hall. Just two people-shaped things face down in blood.
Was getting Chopin? They were both face down.
What? Yeah.
Barge was cuffing Silsky on the ground?
I just recall. Guy couldn't cuff. How?
How?
I don't know. Something that would cuff easily.
A dress shirt?
Oh, what do you want, a round of applause? Everyone clap for the world's greatest
Wordsmith?
Shut up.
Persuading her to remove her shoes and socks before tossing up the stairs was the very upper limit of my patience.
Take her to the floor and onto the bed is up to her. I don't care. I can sleep on my couch. Sleep in my chair. What? I fall asleep in any position, actually. It's not actually worth bragging about, especially to myself. So now a homicide detective knows where I live. The address is on the business card, downside of a home office. It's fun to imagine how sick she'll be tomorrow. I don't remember a time I got that drunk, thankfully. I remember a time I got that mad. Last time I cried. Screw this. Introspection's a scam. I'm literally so flushed that I can afford to waste time on it. That was nice. Oh my god, stop smiling like that. Yes, you found a teacher's missing key card. No, you're not Sherlock Holmes. Or whoever his lawyer was. I'm sure. You're gonna be the most popular kid in school overnight now. Well, I wasn't being that sarcastic. You better hope it's somewhat true. The life of your little club's sign up period is next week, isn't it? Actually, you need to find more members. I'm gonna be out that day. Family thing. What a face. You sure everyone puppy dog eyes that pathetic? Look, if you're gonna be a lawyer, you'll need to get better at reading fine print. You need 5 members to found a club, but if you have at least 2 students present at the qualification time, you get an extension. I mean, even you can get one person to join, right? What is wrong with you? Use that winning personality of yours. It's a family thing. Can't say no. Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oh. Alright. That was certainly a way to leave it off. Okay. Yeah, I feel content with just putting it out there. Part of it feels like a weird time to end it there. As much as I want to extend this, like one stream, I probably can't with my brain right now. Good. Oh man. Yeah, I imagine Charles could be pretty lengthy. So with that, I'm gonna end off my time here. I more than anything, I'm pretty excited to just start like the every game. I don't have many slots in my brain right now. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you tomorrow for the I suppose. Yeah, good night everyone.